but I swear I'll find you, even if all the evidence is gone. You know your presence in the room, the way it's killing me isn't murder, it's unheard of. Let's take the love imprisoned in us and let it go.
All right, here we have T-Compressor from Techivation, a very interesting and unique compressor. We can actually do parallel compression all within this single plugin by using our mix control here. And we also have 4 different kinds of compression. Plus we can do serial compression all within a single plugin. So let's real quick go over the features here and see how to use it. All right, so let's start by focusing on this drum track here. We'll mute the bass and guitar for now. So of course, the first thing that we need to do is pull down our threshold. So we're going to do that. Now you can see the gain reduction there and the gain reduction here. We can change our graph right up here from a VU meter to a graph. And on the graph side, you can actually see some things. It might make it a little bit easier to explain what these do. So of course, the threshold, when do we want that compression to start kicking in? Up here, no compression. Start getting into this level, you can see we're getting some gain reduction there. Down here we have our sidechain high pass. So essentially what this means is we can dial out low end from triggering the compressor. So obviously this kick drum has a lot of low end in it. So let's see that there. All right, the kick drum is triggering the compression. Let's up the compression amount a bit. Now, if I don't want that kick drum triggering the compressor, we can use our side chain high pass here. I can pull that up, right? Getting the kick there, pull it up, not getting the kick there. So now we're focused more around the snare and the cymbals. Let me pull this down just a bit because I don't want to really compress that kick too much here, all right? Pull this down. Somewhere around there, just to even things out, right? Even out that snare and the cymbals with that kick. Then of course the compression amount right here, pretty simple to figure out. Right here we have a slow or fast attack and a slow or fast release. Let's look at the graph here so we can understand what that means. Let's start with a slow attack and a fast release and just look at the graph here. I'm going to exaggerate my threshold for now and the compression a bit. All right. So a slow attack versus a fast attack, right? Really attacking that transient very, very quickly with a fast release. Now let's look at a slow release here. So look at this release right here. Look how long that is versus a fast release where it comes up much faster. Now the exact speed of your slow or fast attack or release will be dependent upon how much compression you have. Let's go to say a fast attack and a slow release for now. All right, we'll up the amount of compression. You can see how the speed changes there versus maybe being down here somewhere. All right, so the exact speed will be determined intelligently by your compressor knob. So for this track here, I don't really want it attacking too fast. I actually want it to attack a little bit slower and to release a bit slower. That slow release is going to pull out those cymbals and the snare a bit. All right. Then on this side, we have our output, or use this drop down, go to your input so we can drive that input a bit more. Then adjust the output level right here. Double click, we'll set those to the default. You also have an auto gain function in here, a smart auto gain. So we can turn that on. That way we hear the compression at a similar level to the dry track. Right. If I turn that off, now the level's much lower. Of course, we can always compensate. Now, in my case, in this case here, I actually don't want auto gain on, but you do have the option right there. And then we have 4 different types of compressors in here. So we've been using the clean, which will be very transparent. And there's crispy, which I actually like the crispy on this. It brings something out of that snare and those cymbals. Go to warm and thick. Things are definitely hitting harder with that thick on there, but for this, I want crispy. All right, that's pretty good there. If I bypass it, back on. Yeah, things are hitting a bit harder. Very good. So that's well and good that we have, 4 different types of compression within one plugin. And we also have a mix amount right here if I wanted to do, some parallel compression or let some of that unaffected signal through. But what we can also do is add another compressor right within this single plugin. So come up here and we can add another compressor in serial. Just press the plus icon. And now we have 2 different compressors in serial. Want another one? No problem. Add another one. You can have up to 3 compressors in serial. That means they go into one, goes into the other one, goes into the other one, right? So we can have up to 3 different compressors within this one plugin. Let's just add 2 compressors. I'll get rid of that third one by clicking the X there. So on our first compressor, we went with crispy. I think on the second compressor, we're gonna go to thick. Same stuff here. Let's set our threshold. And in this case, I really don't want it grabbing that much. Just gonna shape it a bit. Okay. Gonna thicken that up a bit. I think maybe a fast release on that. There we go. That's what we want. Makes all of that come through a bit more. Let me. Yeah, we're hitting much harder now. There's also some extra clarity in there thanks to that crispy compressor and a bit more girth and width to these drums. It really pops through in the mix without overwhelming everything. All right, so those are your basic controls here. You also have a bypass right there. And in your hamburger menu, we have your oversampling amount. Of course, take that up as high as you can. And you have presets in here. Now, these presets are for single compressors. And what I mean by that is, let me add a third compressor here. If I come over here and go to presets and I say maybe a distorted bass, and that preset only affects my number 3 compressor, right? Everything else is set up just the way we had it. If on the other hand, I used a global preset, that's going to load settings into all 3 of our compressors, or it may change from 3 compressors to 2 compressors. Okay, so those are your global presets right here. You also have your GUI scale if you want to make this larger or smaller, and you can hide or turn on the tooltips right there. We also have A and B slots. So we're on the A slot right now. We can always switch over to B and maybe try something, completely different over here. Just quickly throwing a preset in there. So we can A and B between our different settings. It's a really quick way for you to sort of set something up, let's say on the A side, then maybe copy it over to B just by clicking that button, then make a few tweaks and see if it sounds a little better or a little worse, right? So it just helps you set things up to get it exactly how you want. But I think we have this about where we want it. What I will do is change the mix amount here and the mix amount here. I don't want so much compression on that. There we go. So that is all of the features and functions and controls here in T-Compressor. Let's move on and finish up this track real quick here. I'll move to the bass Hear that raw. And I already have this set up over here. So I have two compressors again, 1 and 2. I have thick here for compressor 1. Really thickens everything up, of course. Okay. Using this sidechain high pass, so I'm not getting those extremely low notes, and I'm compressing more of these higher notes up here, right? And that helps them to pop through in the in the full mix here. I can barely hear them. Let me turn this compressor back on. Right. Now I can actually hear those chord changes without it being too overpowering, right? So we have thick there, and again, some crispy. It gives me a bit more articulation and clarity. Going for a fast attack and a slow release. In this case, pulling the mix down too. Again, if I bypass that. Back on. It just fills everything out in that bass. And then we could also put it on the guitar, which I have it on here. It's bypassed right now. So in the case of this guitar, it doesn't really need a lot of compression because it's already distorted, so therefore it's already compressed. But we're just going to even things out, smooth things out, and make it sound a little bit more polished and professional. Using the crispy setting on this, not mixing that much in, really. And I'm kind of over compressing here and then pulling the mix down. With the slow attack and the slow release on that. If I bypass it, not a huge difference, right? Just slight, kind of evens it out, and it also pulls it out of the overall mix just a bit here. Bypass it. Back on. Right. Very, very subtle in this case, but your compression changes don't have to be huge, right? We're just trying to polish things up. In fact, if I have T-Compressor on these 3 tracks and it's turned on for each of them, let me just bypass all of them at once by using this button here in Studio One, so you can hear the difference here. And hear how much more polished it sounds with our compression. So I'll bypass all of the compressors. All right. So it sounds fine, but it sounds much more polished with all of our compressors turned on. There we go. So the bass sounds more full. It's also more articulate. That's not just from, volume changes. It's, since we're compressing the dynamic range, we can raise the overall volume. Plus we're pulling out, again, some more articulation and top end with some of this crispy setting that we have there. And also some of that thick setting. We're getting, a thicker sound, a more girthy sound overall. The drums hit harder. They're coming through better, but they're not clashing with the bass, and the guitar just sounds a little bit more polished. And once you bring it all together, it just sounds much more professional overall, especially once we start bringing in all of our other instruments in here. Okay, bypass everything. Back on. Whenever I turn that back on, you can just hear this whoosh, just the bass comes at you. You can actually hear it. It comes through, it hits you right in the middle of the face. The drums are pounding harder. The guitars sound better. Again, it's just a much more polished sound overall. Bypass. Boom. Much better.
Suspect I've been
All right. Of course, you can also use this on vocals as well. I already have it on this vocal track, actually. I already have it turned on here. Again, we're using crispy here and a little bit of clean over for compressor 2.
And now I suspect
bypass it.
I've been a witness all along.
Turn it back on.
But I swear I'll find.
Okay, I'm not doing a lot to this track, actually. Just compressing it a little bit just to even it out a little bit more. I can drive the input and also drive the output a little bit more to make things slightly louder.
And you, even if all the evidence.
Again, using a slow attack on this. I don't want it to quickly attack and grab that transient.
And now I suspect I've been a witness all along.
Want a nice slow attack.
But I swear
And a fast release on that.
I'll find you, even if all the evidence is gone.
Just, in this case, there's plenty of ways, to compress different kinds of tracks. And, on some vocals, you might want to use a fast attack or a slow release. It really just depends on the sound that you're going for. So just trust your ears.
And now I suspect I've been a witness all along. But I swear I'll find you.
It just brings it out a little bit, especially once you get into that full mix here.
But I swear I'll find you, even if all the evidence is gone. Your presence in the room, the way it's killing me isn't murder, it's unheard of. Let's take the love imprisoned in us and let it go.
I bypass everything.
Even if all the evidence is gone. Your presence in the room, the way it's killing me isn't murder, it's unheard of. Let's take the love imprisoned in us and let.
So to me, that just sounds a bit weak. Overall, it's already pretty good, but it just sounds a bit weak. We're polishing things off here with our compressor. We're controlling that dynamic range, the difference between the quietest levels and the highest levels. And we're also bringing things out of the mix, and we're giving it a unique character and a unique flavor with our different, our 4 different types of compression. Again, it just sounds more polished and more full, more professional with our T-Compressor on this track.
Swear I'll find you, even if all the evidence is gone. Your presence in the room, the way it's killing me isn't murder, it's unheard of. Let's take the love imprisoned in us and let it go.
All right, so that is T-Compressor from Techivation. If you want to pick it up for yourself, head right over here. Of course, the link will be in the description below. Try it for free if you want. Head over here. There's some more videos over here if you want to go into some more styles of music and hear it used on a bunch of different sources. All right, so again, that link will be in the description below. Head over there and pick up T-Compressor from Techivation for yourself.
Swear I'll find you, even if all the evidence is gone. Your presence in the